Welcome back everybody to the daily show where we discuss and do technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please smash that like button, and 100 plus likes on this video would be greatly appreciated, guys. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. Now if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into it, guys. On Microsoft, it's up 0.92%. So Microsoft, we got a pullback here on Thursday, and then entire dip was bought up immediately. And on Friday, you can see right on top of this 5-day moving average, 446 was holding low for the day, 446, and then went back up to 450 again. So going into this week, and especially going into Monday's session, there will be strong support at 446, rising 5-day moving average, and below that 443. Now 443 gives up. We do have unfinished business down here at 433, and we could see a dump off all the way down here on Microsoft, and possibly this would be a daily higher low before we go into a new all-time high. Now to the upside, Microsoft breaks and holds, I would say 450 to 451 right here. The next stop 455, and then possibly even 460. On Tesla stock is up 0.79%, so Tesla came back down to 180.69, went back up and holding 183 pretty much exactly into closing as a support. So 183 gives up. The next support will be down here, 178, 173.62. 50-day moving average right here, this red line, and then lower Bollinger Band at 170. Now as long as Tesla can hold above, I would say 178 to 183, which is holding on Friday, that is still bullish, and we could see a massive move easily up to 200 on Tesla, but it needs to hold at least above rising 20-day moving average right here, 178.17. And right now it's holding 183, so that is even better. It needs to hold going into tomorrow's session on Monday. On AMD, it's down slightly on the day, 0.34%, and AMD came down to 157.89, went back up to 163. And looks like, you can see right here, guys, this was a big support level before. And now, since we came under that support, 164-ish right here, we cannot actually break out to the upside. There was multiple attempts of a breakout to the upside. It did hold for multiple days and then gave up the support, and now we cannot break above 164. So if that breaks on AMD, definitely you're going to see the next stop up to this upper Bollinger Band, 171, and then 173 up to 184. Now to the downside, well, we do have strong support right here, and you guys saw that fantastic play that I actually had, and still holding some calls on AMD for more upside as long as this trend line can hold. And now right here, guys, 159, also 50 SMA, that's going to be a support, and below that we also have this trend line, and that's going to be around 156 to 157. As long as AMD can hold right here and we get that breakout over 164, that is bullish for more upside up to 171.18 to this upper Bollinger Band, and the next stop 173, and then this thing can go even higher above 173, easily up to 184, and then this gap 188. On Netflix is up 1%, so just like I said in my last video that Netflix, I still think that this thing can go up to 700, and looks like we might be going there this week. Look at the pullback here on Friday, came down to 678, and look at this rising 5-day moving average, 679. It was holding, went back up, and pretty much closing at the high of the day at 686. So here on Netflix, guys, 679, that's going to be a support to watch, and this 5-day moving average will go up even more. So I would say 680 to watch for support if there is a pullback, and below that 664, and then 13 SMA, 659 down to 654, rising 20-day moving average. As long as Netflix can actually stay above rising 5-day moving average, 679 to 680, that is still bullish for a move all the way up to easily 700. So there is still more upside on Netflix. Possibly can hit 700 this week, or maybe even above 700, guys. Anything is possible. We might be going up to a brand new all-time high on Netflix. On Meta, it's down 1.38%, so Meta just consolidating inside this bull flag and not actually getting down to even 490. And so far, if you look at my screen, now it's below 500. So we need that breakout over 500. And if that happens, that's going to be a bull flag breakout. And this thing can easily move up to 505 to even 520. Now to the downside. Meta cannot hold for 90 on a pullback. This thing will come down even more. Down to red line 50 SMA right here. That's going to be around 480 and then this gap at 478.89. On Amazon stock, it's up 1.60%, so it looks like Amazon wants to get that breakout over 190, and it can happen. Just like Google stock, we saw that last week on Friday up to a brand new all-time high, and looks like it's time for Amazon now. Which is insane that market, just kept pushing higher, and big names like Amazon, Google, then you got Meta, Apple, and Nvidia especially, they're just rotating in between big names. One day you'll see Apple dumping like Friday, and money coming back into like Amazon and Google, where you will see Tesla dumping one day, and the next day you'll see money actually coming into Apple and stuff. So it's just crazy how they're actually rotating money in between big mega cap stocks and not really buying anything like some big names like Boeing. They're not buying something like that. They're not even buying energy stocks, not that much as they're buying big names like Amazon, Google, Meta, and all that. So here on Meta, keep an eye on this, guys. If this thing breaks out over 190 and can hold 190, well, I know it's not too far away from hitting a brand new all-time high, and that could be around 192 to 194, and who knows, even 200 is on the card over 190. So over 190, play the breakout to the upside, even though this thing, is really up there where you don't want to go long, but you can definitely open a day trade over 190 and this thing can push even higher. Now if this is actually a fake breakout that's going to take place this week over 190 and this thing gets a rejection, well, watch out for the support right down here, 188, 185, down to 183, and then 180. On Apple, stock is down 1%, so Apple looks like it's heading down to 200. Now, I did call this out in my Discord that Apple actually can come down to 207, and just before closing, perfectly coming down to 207 and holding right there at 207. So this is gonna be key level to watch this week, and especially going into Monday's session, 207. Below that, we could see at least a pullback, and you can see, that could be in line with this uptrend right here, since we got that gap up and go right here, and you can see multiple touches right here on this trend line. And now if we actually come all the way back down to, I would say, 200 to 198, that's gonna be this trend line right here, and also that is in line with this rising 20-day moving average, which is sitting at 200. And not only that, previous all-time highs at around 199 to 198 right here, that's gonna hold as a support. So I think it makes sense Apple to come back all the way down to 200 to 198, and that should be an area where you can go long on Apple if that support holds next week. So watch out below 207. Now it's not gonna go straight down to 200. There will be support rising 13-day moving average 205, and below that you're going to see a flush down to 200 to 198. But as long as 207 can hold, this thing can definitely make a move back up to the upside like it did on Friday. Look at this, almost 212. And what do we got at 212? Well, 5-day moving average sitting at 212 then needs to break, and above that you're going to see Apple heading higher. Until then, watch the support 207 and then 205, and below that you're going to see a dump off easily down to 200 to even 198. And once we get down to that level, and if that don't hold, then we can talk about possibly a fake breakout to the upside, and now it's gonna get that pullback possibly down to this gap at some point 173, which is gonna be a long way down if this is actually a just fake breakout to the upside. But I think 198 to 200, if there is a pullback, Apple will hold and it's going to find a lot more buyers. But one thing I want to point out also, guys, on Friday's session, look at the volume here on that sell-off. Huge, right? We haven't seen anything like that before, and that is a huge volume, getting that sell-off. So I think this sell-off can continue easily down to 198 to 200 this week, unless we can hold the support 207 and we get that bounce over 212 on Apple. On Google, stock is up 1.43%, so Google going up to a brand new all-time high on Friday and getting a rejection, coming back and holding 180 pretty much right on top of this wedge right here, and that's going to be a key support going into tomorrow's session right here, 180. Now below 180, we could be coming back all the way down to right here, 178, rising 5-day moving average, and just below that we have strong support at 176. Now as long as Google can hold 180, maybe some consolidation on this hourly time frame right here, some consolidation, and then we get that breakout over this high 182, that should take Google up to 185 and up to even 188. Now keep that in mind. Look at this Bollinger Band here on top, it's at 180, so over time this Bollinger Band will expand even more, and then after that consolidation we could see more upside on Google. But for that to happen, we need to hold 180 right here on Google stock. If not, watch out for 178, and the breakdown will happen below 176 on Google stock. This thing can come down to 173, 170, and can possibly go much lower down to these gaps right here, 158.28. And here's my X account, and if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow, and there is no subscription, nothing, is totally free, and if you have a question you can always ask right here on X. And here's a fantastic play, guys, and not a lot of people can do this before opening. So you can see it right here, Nvidia, it was down this Friday, so Nvidia 130 calls at opening. If we opened below or at 138, we actually opened at like 126, I think. Yeah, that's where I got in, near 126, and then immediately you can see 0 DTs, lotos, expiration, won't go big because it's same day expiration. And look at what happened after opening, guys. 9:31 a.m. already 66%, and then on the runners that I had, it was over 100%. And you can see right here, even some people made really good money on Nvidia trade. And these are some shares that we actually had. Nvidia 85%, and then you get right here you can see more Nvidia 114, 65%, 100%, got 50%, and depending on where you got in. So all these trade ideas are available on Patreon. And if you're really serious about trading, then definitely check out that link down below in the description, guys. On Nvidia, stock is down over 3%. It was down almost 5% on Friday, and you guys saw that play. We actually caught the dip, and it was immediately up over 66%, and then within 2 minutes it was up 110%, guys. It was huge. Now again, this thing came back, went back up. But people that are trading with me, or people that actually know how I trade, I don't go back and try to get more money, because I like to keep my money. Once I get in, into any trades and I make money off of it, I don't like to give back. Now, let's talk about technicals on Nvidia stock. Well, I told you guys before that it's holding right here at 130, and look at what happened. We actually gapped down on Friday, came down to, what was it, 124, but in the morning it was at 126 where I got in, and this thing bounced like $3, and we got out immediately from Nvidia. And then from there, this thing took a dump off down to 124, went back up, fully closing the gap near 131, and you can see 130 acting as a resistance here on Friday, came back, and now look at this, Nvidia trading right here just above 126. So is this something big on Nvidia stock? We definitely broke this uptrend, went back up, got rejection, and now holding at 126. So for this week, 130 will be a big resistance to watch. And then below 126, this thing can dump easily down to, I would say right here, that's going to be around 122 to 121. And then this strong support right here at 117.85 on Nvidia stock. Now Nvidia breaks and holds 180. In that case, this thing can push higher again, back up to 136 and possibly even higher. So we need more confirmation of a breakdown. This thing needs to stay under 130 and possibly under 126 this week for more downside and more continuation to the downside all the way down to 117, and possibly coming down and retesting this trend line down here. And that could happen, guys, in next couple days if this downtrend actually continues on Nvidia stock. And that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching.